question. It's almost the reverse of that question.
Yeah.
With all of, when you were slicing through each of those, if you'd taken those out as single images, would those be 2D fractals in their own right?
What you mean, that animation you just saw just before this?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
So that's
right.
a whole infinite set.
They're absolutely. It's a fractal on on each plane, but also for each slice, but also in the third dimension as well, to a degree, at least to a very big degree. But yes, absolutely, 2D, absolutely. In fact, if you slice it in half, you'd actually see the Mandelbrot set, but only if it's power 2. If you see power 8, then it'd be kind of the Mandelbrot set, but like with lots of like a star-shaped Mandelbrot set, which I showed you a slide earlier, which kind of had the Mandelbrot set, but it was kind of had 3 prongs instead of just the head, if you know what I mean.
That brings me to another issue. Why is it that it's the Mandelbrot set that everything kind of centres around and that people have worked on and come to? Is that because that formula is so simple at the heart of it, and that the others are all based on more complex formulae, or is it something else?
Yeah, it's the Mandelbrot set seems really special because it's got all this incredible detail. And one thinks, oh, maybe there are loads of other formulas which can also get incredible detail. It's really hard. It's really hard. Mandelbrot set seems the best. They've noticed Mandelbrot set actually in magnetic field borders, and that's the only instance you ever might find the Mandelbrot set in real life. But this was there's a reference at the bottom. I think it's at the bottom of the sheet, or near the bottom. Anyway, which mentions magnetic field borders where they found patterns of Mandelbrot set. And this is physics. This is physics. Something the last place you'd expect to see the Mandelbrot set, but apparently.
Even the Newton's law of three body problem is right.
Yeah, but it's not Mandelbrot. Yeah, but it's not Mandelbrot set. It's kind of fractal. I mean, don't get me wrong. Lots of physical processes which create fractals, but for the actual Mandelbrot set itself, I thought that was quite surprising, to be honest. Someone also said they saw a cup of tea. Probably not. It just happened to form the shape, the bubbles. Oh, yeah, sort of Mandelbrot. Yeah, kind of, if you squint hard, etc.
I'm sure there's a potato chip formed like the Mandelbrot set.
Yeah, so someone brought, exactly that.
How was this produced?
The same, that previous print, which I showed you.
Yes, right. So this is what is the photograph of, basically.
That's the 3D.
Yes, that one there isn't the photograph I showed you before. That's the one. That's mine. That one. It's
That is a 3D printer, isn't it? Did that?
Sorry.
A 3D printer did that, didn't it?
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Yes. So I'm sure we're fast running out of time, but I can't resist showing you this one, which. If you can pass this around, well, I'll show everyone first. This is another printout I did, which is supposed to be that picture you can see on the screen now. Show it for the camera, and I actually drew someone, and also the lakes as well, to give it more. I actually put a story behind it. I made up this science fiction story whereby someone was unfairly transported to this Mandelbulb world where they had to live there forever. It's really sad. And they had to find a way to escape or something like that. And so there's a person in the picture as well. And so I'm not sure if this is right. It's quite light, but
just put it in front of it.
Show it. Actually, I'm a good job. If it doesn't slide down. So you can, of course, just like the others, you can. Thanks very much. Thank you. And then, of course, you can zoom in to any part of this, and you see all this exquisite detail. There's the animation. Oh well, still. I'll quickly go through the rest now. I'm not sure how many of you much time we've got. Sorry, did you? Okay. So this is inside the shape. This is the spine inside the previous picture that you saw. If you zoom right in, you'll see this shape. And if you zoom right into, can you see just these areas here? Just sort of these kind of areas there. If you zoom into that part, then of course you get the shape. And then this is another picture I did of it, another picture. This was one I just corrected a couple of days ago. 3D, and a few more pictures. And this one was coloured, so I based it on the distance from the centre of the sphere, I gave it a certain colour. So you can, of course, you can colour it as well. And of course, this one here, that's also coloured in various different ways. Let's skip through some of these now. There's a nice light source version there. I'll put some lights in. And that person who's in the story, which I was talking about before, this is their infinite stay on planet Mandelbrot, and they've managed to build themselves sort of a nice little pocket there with lights. Is this a real? Oh, we're coming to you. So is this a real 3D Mandelbrot set? Well, remember what you were saying about it being smooth. If you do have more iterations, you will sort of still see the same smoothness. Even though it might get more detailed in one dimension, it will still be stretched in another. So as good as this is, it's still not the what I call the holy grail, where it would have all the variety of the 2D Mandelbrot. As good as this is, you can get a lot better than even this. Because in theory, that's in theory, because many say that the 3D Mandelbrot that you can't get it mathematically, it's impossible. And there's good evidence for that. There is good evidence. And it's got to do with, well, there's no such thing as a three-dimensional arithmetic. Complex numbers is a closed algebra. And, of course, in 3D there's no such thing. So this could be the closest you might be able to get to a 3D Mandelbrot, real 3D Mandelbrot. But it's, well, I'll skip this part. It's the question is out there, does it really exist? And if it does, I'd very much like to see it, and it would look much better than these. But I'm still happy with what we've managed to get so far, and who knows what the future holds. Since this discovery of the Mandelbulb formula, there's been lots of interest, and there's a fractal called the Mandelbox. How many of you heard of the Mandelbox? Any? Okay. Well, look at that. It is absolutely another very incredible 3D fractal, which was found since this was discovered, since the Mandelbulb was discovered. And there's links on the handouts that I've given you, which give really amazing pictures of this other incredible shape, which was created by Tom Lowe, just fairly recently, I think, just over a year ago. So just to finish off, I'll skip those. Here are some failed 3D Mandelbrot attempts, which still look quite nice, really. And here's the Mandelbox that I was talking about. This is just a few pictures that I rendered. These pictures that I've rendered actually don't do it justice. People have done better renders. Oops. Great Mandelbrot Christmas tree. People have done much better renders than these of the Mandelbox. So please have a look at those, because you get some. This is just the tip of the iceberg. You wouldn't believe what people have found, and they've created videos as well. Of course, there are videos of this all over the place now. It's kind of gone a bit worldwide as well since the discovery. So there's a few other things I wanted to say, but I'm open to any questions. Sorry, I've gone a bit over time.
Questions, please.
Sorry, the voyage of discovery. Can you just relate?
Thanks very much.
What was the inspiration to move into this discovery of the formula?
Right. It must have been 10 years ago. There was a program called Chaos Pro on the Amiga computer, and back then I thought, oh, this would be nice in 3D, if we could get this in 3D. So even 10 years ago I was thinking it would be a good idea. And then it was just recently again I decided to take up the challenge to. I say recently because sort of. I mean, I published the formula in. Oh, we'll get that on. That was a few years ago, and then that's when I tried again. You see, so I think it's always been something which I thought, wow, that would be great to see in 3D. Let's see if we can create something. Let's see if we can understand the principles of Mandelbrot and see if we can translate that to 3D. So, you had a question.
Yes, in the advertisement to your talk, there was some mention about musical applications. Do you have any references to that? Because
I mentioned I did composition and music.
Yes, 15 years ago I wrote a number of pieces. I'm a composer.
Yeah.
Based on Julia sets.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Many.
And I actually had them performed by a computer.
Yeah.
That is a computer driving a piano.
Mm-hmm.
One of those MIDI. What do you call them? Mechanical actuator pianos.
Right.
Do you use this in your own composition?
No, no. Actually, I just create. It's an idea. It's something I've been thinking about. Although, having said that, I did try to create a nice sound from the 2D Mandelbrot.
Sound, right.
By going in and out of the shape of the Mandelbulb.
Right. Okay.
And I thought, oh, this could be really good.
Well, it depends how you quantize it, of course.
There's so many different ways, like you say. All of them produce noise, so not much luck at the end there. But there are lots of different ways. So I'm sure that. What is it? So do you compose sort of music, or is it more like sounds? Or?
No, I compose music. I'm a composer.
Right, there you are. So you incorporate Julia set sort of notes.
Yes. I mean, I'm not all the time, but I wrote a series of pieces that were based on Julia sets.
Okay.
And you can hear them. You can hear the Julia sets. You can hear the iterative shapes and self-similarities.
Absolutely. Of course, there are so many different mappings, and even for the 2D Mandelbrot. And then, of course, you've got. I'm not sure what music would sound like based on this, but absolutely. There's quite a few different interesting things you can do in terms of sound and music now. Any other questions? Go on.
Even if I don't have enough knowledge on the math side of things, could I still play around and navigate sets and create large-scale images, maybe for print?
Sorry, is that any?
Without having much knowledge on the math side, could I still explore some sets like the Mandelbrot set or the Julia set?
Absolutely. On the handout I've given you, there are quite a few programs. There's one called Mandelbulb, for instance, where you can create pictures like these. So it's all public. It's all out there. All the links. There's a good 5 or 10 programs I've given. And some really good ones, and even some you can do in real time. So absolutely, others can explore this object. It's completely public, It's not like I've got the formula, copyright, what's this one? No, absolutely, anyone can create new shapes. And in fact, I'm even developing my own software as well, so that people can explore this and any arbitrary mathematical function with the software that I'm creating. And they can animate it, and they can colour it in different ways, and they can do it via programming. It's very flexible, and so I'm sort of looking to release that hopefully within the next year or so. Go on.
One last one about the 3D print. So if you've done the conversion from spherical coordinates to get like the 3D shape, well, you'd get points in 3D, but then how would you connect those points to create the faces to get the mesh that you could then print?
Okay, when you say print, do you mean like an object print?
Yes.
You have to make the polygons.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a very tricky procedure, I've heard. That's why you don't get many of these shapes, but it can be done, and it has been done. If you look on fractal forums, they'll I think you can get it from a site called Shapeways, so you might want to look there.